Hello and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Marte. I come from Norway and I absolutely love makeup. And today I will be continuing my Zodiac series, and it's time for the Taurus, which has the starting date of 21st of April. I'm filming this the 13th of April, so I'm basically almost 1 week ahead. But I do also want to mention that one of my subscribers, she has her birthday the day after I post this, the 22nd, so happy birthday to you, Moraid. I'm so sorry if I'm butchering your name, but it's like Irish or Scottish or something, and I'm awful in pronunciation already, so I'm sorry about that, but I wish you a happy birthday. Today I'm going to show you my Taurus palette that I made, and as usual I want to have a disclaimer that I do not know that much about zodiac signs. I'm only basically following the color stories that are explained by the page nowletsgetgoing.com. It's basically one of the first pages that come up if you Google zodiac color stories or something like that. And I'm basically just basing my color stories up on that. For this special palette I also took, I searched a little bit more because I only saw like forest green and pink, so I searched a little bit so I could find some other mentions of it as well, and they said light blue, so I also did incorporate that into this color story. But if you do not like my color story, I am so sorry. Please leave a comment down below what you would have done instead, or what you hate about it, or what you love about it as well, of course. And I guess I will just go ahead and read the description of Taurus color story. If there's any sign that's going to be pretty in pink, it's hands down going to be Taurus. Reliable, patient, and grounded. Taurus should dress for success in a color that will shake up their responsible side but still remain tethered to the earth. What better colors to achieve that look than bubbly pink? And if you're really feeling spunky, maroon. That doesn't mean you have to kick those sensible colors out of your closet though, Taurus. White and black are two colors that help you come to practical and stable decisions. Red, however, does not. Where red and your typically level-headed nature will turn into some of your less than sparkling attributes like stubbornness. The Taurus Zodiac color palette is black, bubblegum pink, and forest green, and the Taurus Zodiac color palette no-nos are red and purple. And then I also checked some other places where it said that the Taurus color story should be like pastel shades of pink, pale blue, and green. With that in mind, this is the color story that I came up with. We have some bubbly pink up here and here as both shimmers and mattes. We do have a pale green and a pale blue, but of course also a beautiful forest green matte and this delicious forest green pigment from Tammy Tanuka. And then I also wanted to play with I wanted to have something that could play with both the greens and the blue, so that we don't just have like one matte blue randomly there. So I used this pigment, which has a green shift but a very nice pale blue base, so you can make a color story based, or like an eye look based just on those two, for example, if you want that. And then I have a maroon shade here, of course, so you can deepen up the pink look. And I feel like you have a lot of different options with these ones because you have some pale greens, you have a pale pink, and you have a darker green, you have a darker pink, and then you have one blue that you can pair with either of these lighter ones or even the dark green here. So I will just go ahead and swatch these and put the names up on the screen at the same time so you can see all the different names and of course how the colors look swatched out on my pale skin tone. so the sun really came out now, but I tried to turn down the lighting on my camera a little bit, and now I'm lighting with my phone, so you can hopefully see a bit more of the shifts in the sparkly pigments and shimmers, and just see how beautiful they are. So obviously with this one from Clionadh is super multi-dimensional. It's kind of hard to show when I have the window right in front of me because there's obviously a lot of light there, but it's going like from green to pink and everything, so it's a stunning shade. You can basically use it with any of the mattes here and top it off on the lid, and you can also combine it with any of the shimmers here. Then we have these gorgeous lighter matte shades, of course. This pigment does not stick very well to the skin without glitter glue, but it's a stunning pigment that of course I used in my look today, and it's very forest green in my opinion, a little bit more emerald maybe. And then we have this concoction that I made from my 2 Give Me Glow shadows when I repanned them. Obviously there's a lot of different shades out there like this. You can use, for example, Lethal Cosmetics in Eden. Also Devinah has a lot of greens, so it's definitely not like you have to mix this to get this exact shade. Then we have the beautiful pink with blue sparkles to it, which I felt like would combine very nicely with both of the pink shades and the light blue shade, for example. Then it's a light blue, which is a little bit muted. It's not super bright, but I really enjoy it for this color story. And then it's that gorgeous pigment with a greenish shift and a nice blue base. And of course the deep maroon shade that is not a very well swatching shade, but it's very easy to use on the eye and it's beautiful. So that, you guys, sums up the whole color story, and I think it's very cool. It's not something I've used before, so I'm really excited about it actually. So I'm just going to try to show you the shifts even better, so I turned down my lighting even more so we can be able to see all that sparkly goodness that these shades offer us. Now that we have the swatches out of the way, I hope you will stick around to see how I did this look using this color story, but as always I do close-ups after finishing the actual look, so if you're impatient you can just skip right over to that. So I have a slight idea of what I want to do, and I think I'm actually going to end up using all the shades in the palette, which is always exciting when I do my own custom palettes. So my plan this far is going in with this one in the outer crease, blending it with this one, then placing this one in the inner crease. Then I want to make some sort of an eyeliner, and then on my lower lash line I want to place this one closest to the lash line, then blend it out with this one, maybe top a little bit of this one in the middle of the lower lash line. On my whole lid I want to use this gorgeous emerald green, and for my inner corner I want to use Glint, this beautiful from Clionadh. And since I know using this one as my inner crease, I will have a very big contrast from this one on the lid, so I might end up using this one as a liner to cut the crease. So I'm just going to start with this dark green and then move over to this one and this one, I think. And I'm just using my Kaleidos Makeup S3 brush as usual, and my eyeshadow base is of course my NARS smudge proof eyeshadow base. And I'm going to not take this shadow any longer than about middle here, and I don't think this one is going to blend the best with the blue shadow, so I'm kind of just buffing out the edge right here so I can tap them together instead of actually blending them together. And then I'm just buffing the edges here so that I can have a nice transition to that lime pastel green. Now taking my S5 brush from Kaleidos, going into Zenona, and as usual when using transition shades I try to pack it on top of that blending that I did, just to sort of cover up the transition, but therefore also getting a nice gradient. But as you can see, this green one is very like dusty sort of, so I want to like pack it on to make sure I have the pigment, and the edges will almost blend by themselves. And I will of course also go in with some setting powder under my brow, just to make sure that all of my eyeshadow base is set. And I'm not scared to drag this shadow out a little bit, because if I'm going to do a liner, it's going to be long. Now I just slightly tapped back into that green shade, and I'm just going to make sure that I have that all the way like over the tape, because obviously I want this to be the shape of my eyeshadow. Now I'm just taking a brush that is the same shape as my Kaleidos S3 but a little bit smaller, and it's from Wish, and I'll just be using this shadow, which I've never used before, so I'm excited to see how it performs, because I know that Amy Hearts Beauty's formula is a little bit like, it's very loose in the pan. So I'm just going to start by placing it right here. Okay, so it's looking good this far. Now I'm just taking the brush I used for the dark green, and I haven't applied anything more on it. I'm just using whatever is left on the brush. So I think this will be the best one to blend into the blue instead of this lighter one, because that has more yellow to it. And of course I'm going to cover up most of this, like about here, with that emerald green sparkly shade. So I'm just going to work a little bit more on the blending. I see that I need to go in with another layer of that light green, and then I guess I'm starting to get ready for the lid shade. I'm sorry about the lights changing a little bit, but the sun is coming out and then it's going away again, so I'm trying to like adjust my own lighting according to that. But now I'm just going to go in with some glitter glue, and I will just film a small separate video where I'm going to be testing out the NYX glitter primer versus the BH Cosmetics Base Booster, which is the one I love the most, but this one I haven't really been using that much, so I'm just going to see if there's actually a difference. So I'm just going to apply that all over my lids. Now I'm just taking the pigment Heart of the Forest, and I'm going to apply it all over my lids. So I'm just applying a generous amount of the glitter glue right here, and then I will be taking the pigment here called The Great Master by Tammy Tanuka, and I'll also grab a generous amount of that pigment and just mix it with the glue. Now I'm just making sure that I have the pigment on the tip of my brush, and then we'll be starting to map out that line that I was talking about right here. And I think I'll actually just continue that liner right here to make it a winged liner. So I'm just using that exact same mixture, but it's probably going to mix a little bit with the green pigment here as well. I think that's it for this eye. I just finished my face makeup with the Ordinary Serum Foundation, my Jouer Sunswept Bronzer Duo, and a louder powder actually. I think it's sold at bleachlondon.com. I just tried it as a blush, but it's actually an eyeshadow, but I felt like it was nice. And I did apply my NYX Jumbo, I don't really remember the whole name, but it's like a jumbo eye pencil or something in milk. And now I'm going to take the shade Glint here from Clionadh, just on a small brush like this. And I don't think I need much because these are so pigmented. And I'm just going to tap that over that milk pencil. Now I'm going to use my Kaleidos Makeup S5 brush again. Of course I cleaned it on my color switch. And I'm just taking Poison on Your Lips, and I will be placing that all the way into my lower lash line right here, just as the darkest deepening shade. And I'm trying to like align it with the liner that I have here. So I'm just cleaning that brush again, and then I'm going in with a little bit of Cherry Blossom. This is very pigmented, but it blends out really beautifully, so I'm just going to place that also here by the lower lash line, wing it down a little bit right here. Now I'm just taking a tiny bit of my BH Cosmetics Base Booster on the edge of this brush, and I will just be placing that all into the lower lash line right here in the middle, just to have sort of like a spotlight effect, and not really dragging it very much down. A little bit to the inner corner here. And then I'm taking this small flat brush and I'm picking up this beautiful pink shade, Sister of the Rainbow Dragon. And now I can't speak when I'm doing this because then I will have fallout, but I'm just going to tap it into place. And there we basically have the eyeshadow look, so I'll finish up my other eye. I'll find a matching lipstick, put on mascara, and do a close-up video of this look. That is my finished look with my custom Taurus palette, which I found so interesting to work with, and I do really enjoy the look that I came up with. And I did end up pairing it with the lip combo of LA Girl lip liner in the shade Maroon, which is this berry toned liner. It's not at all as deep as it looks on the side here. And then I used a liquid lipstick from the Balm, and it's the shade Charming. I think it says so here. And it's just a, on me, medium to deep berry, I guess. But I'm sure it would look more of a pink nude on deeper skin tones. And for my highlighter, I ended up using my Looxi Beauty highlighter in the shade Glass Slipper, which I feel like has mostly green in it, but it's also a little bit pink, I would say. So that is all the different products that I used. Oh, and I did also use my Calm Mood pencil from Linda Hallberg in my waterline, just to connect the lower lash line a bit more to the upper lid, or what you should say. Yeah, but I really do enjoy this color combination of the green and the pink. I found it funny to be able to like work in all of these different shades in one look. Obviously you can make it a lot more easier and more wearable by just sticking to the greens and blues, for example, but you could also just make a full-on pink look. You could also combine the deep wine red or the maroon shade with the deep green, and I think it would look good with anything. So I do really like this color story. It was really fun to play with. Please leave your opinion on this palette and the look that I came up with down in the comment section. I would love to hear what you thought of it, especially if you're like a Taurus. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Remember to hit the thumbs up button if you did like it, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already and you want to continue watching my Zodiac series. But I also do a lot of other custom palettes and tutorials and stuff like that. So thank you so much for watching, and hopefully I will see you in my next video. Bye!